When it comes to picking out your favorite RPG of all time, especially if you're like me and you've played dozens and dozens of them, is basically what I imagine is like choosing between your children. There are honestly so many great RPGs out there on so many different systems that it's super hard to narrow them down to a top 10, let alone rank them. But I decided I'd give it a go for you guys. So today we're going to talk about my top 10 favorite RPGs of all time. Again, this is my top 10. Not what I say is the objectively best top 10 RPGs, but the 10 that I resonate with the most, I think are the best, and I would go back and play in a heartbeat. The only things I have to mention about this list is that I don't include any Zelda games because I don't really think Zelda is an RPG. That's another video, I guess. And that I'm only picking one game per franchise to kind of narrow it down a bit, because otherwise I could be here all day. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into my top 10 favorite RPGs of all time. Coming in at number 10 is Tales of Symphonia. Man, I've already gushed about how much I love this game. I honestly had such a great time with it as a kid. Released for the GameCube, this game has probably my favorite cast of RPG characters. Lloyd, Colette, Genis, Kratos, Rain, all fantastic characters, and the way that they play off of each other is just so wonderful. The game's multiplayer battle system is probably its biggest draw in my opinion. RPGs are fun, don't get me wrong, but if you can get a friend in there, especially in an action-like game like this, it really makes a huge difference, and I think it was a big pull of this game. I really like the game's story, even though I think it was kind of overblown and it got pretty long-winded in some places, but again, it's still a really solid, fun story and a really long, epic quest. I think the game took about 50 hours to beat, and honestly, it didn't feel anywhere near that. The game easily deserves my number 10 spot. I would play it again in a heartbeat. Number 9, I think this one is actually going to be kind of surprising to some people, but Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. Yeah, I think this game is super underrated. I've kept trying to play the original Final Fantasy Tactics again and again, and I just can't get into it. There's something about the charm of Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. Like, the story isn't as... not even epic, but it's not even as serious as the original Final Fantasy Tactics. It's kind of a lighter story, but it has some really deep themes about identity and memory and escapism that I've really learned to love. The game has a fantastic battle system. I'm not like too much of a veteran of strategy RPGs and like these big role-playing games where you control like 20 people at once, but Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced handles it really well because it's just such a clean, simple system to understand, yet there's a lot of strategy with it too. Also, I think this game's placement is a lot with nostalgia's sake because, let's face it, I played this game as a young kid, and the younger I play it, the more likely it's going to stay with me. It just happens. But honestly, this game's story, the characters, the gameplay, all top notch, and I could honestly drop 200 hours on this game easily. It's fantastic. Number 8 is Suikoden 2. I know people have talked about this game. This could be the top game on the list, honestly, but it comes down here because I love it a lot, but there's just some games I like a lot better. Suikoden 2 is a fantastic game, has so many great characters, though I usually prefer quality over quantity. I know this game has like 100 over plus characters that you can find and learn about, but usually I like games with like fewer characters that they spend more time on. Still though, I think that they really did actually do that with your three main characters, which is the protagonist, the Joey, and your sister Naomi. And I really liked how the crux of the game is those three characters, their struggles, and how the war tears their friendship apart. In any case, the story itself is really fantastic. I like how it deals with different themes of how you manage friendship on one side and your duty on another side, and how those kind of clash over time. I think it was a really rich story. It got personal, like it was really emotional, and I think besides that, it's a quality RPG. It's got a great battle system, even though you're using a bunch of characters, and it was really fast, which I appreciate. The music is fantastic. The story again is very rich. It's a solid game. If you haven't played it yet, you can get it on the PSN network now. Not like me, I had to dish out almost $100 for it. So maybe that's why it's on the list, because I'm like kind of justifying my purchase to myself. No, I'm just kidding. It's a really good game, and I'd suggest you guys give it a shot if you haven't already. It's definitely worthy of the praise it gets. Number 7. Now, this is an interesting one because I'm sure not a lot of people expected to see it at least this high. When you think of RPGs, you're probably not gonna think of Mario first. I mean, yes, of course, there's Mario RPG and Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and those other games in the series. But actually, I think that my favorite out of all those is Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, which is a fantastic game for the GameCube. I hate when people give the GameCube shit because it has so many good games, and this is one of them. I love the original Paper Mario. I played it as a kid. Fantastic game. And I also love the Mario and Luigi RPG games. Like all of them. They're all quality RPGs, lots of fun. But I think that this game trumps them all. Basically, what I really love about this game is that its variety is unparalleled. In every chapter, there's always some kind of different challenge or something new, something fresh. This game is always moving forward with new ideas. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's so fun. The action RPG system is a ton of fun. I know I said like fun 6 times already, but it's really the best way to describe this game. It's a game that really sticks with you, and in my opinion, it's the best Mario RPG to date. And I definitely think it's worthy of this spot on my list. Number 6. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now, okay, I know this is kind of cheating because it's 2 games, but whatever, it's the same game. This is the best Pokemon game. And why? Because it has 2 regions. Yeah, I know in other Pokemon games you can explore whatever, different unexplored extra regions after you beat the Elite Four. But come on, why doesn't any other Pokemon game do this? Where you beat one region, and then you can go back to another with all your new Pokemon, see how the world's progressed. It's awesome. Honestly, why don't they do this with the newer Pokemons? It drives me crazy. I picked the newer version of this game and not Pokemon Crystal or something because, let's face it, the DS version is a lot easier to play, and it worked out a lot of the kinks that the original had. For me, Pokemon had to be on this list, and honestly, there's no better game nostalgia-wise and just gameplay-wise than Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I really think that it's the best in the series so far, and if they can trump it, I would love to see that. Coming in at number 5 is Terranigma. This is probably the most criminally underrated title of all time, or at least one of them. Its story is a little insane at some points, especially near the end. It gets kind of crazy, but it's still understandable enough to be both mysterious and incredible. This game is honestly, it's just wonderful on how it like melds mysterious with a sense of adventure and a great action RPG system. Like, it feels very Zelda-esque, but because you can jump and use like these different kind of attacks, it definitely has its own feel to it. Probably my favorite thing about this game is just the visual style. I think this is definitely one of the best looking games on the system. That introduction, it still gives me chills. It's fantastic. The game has great Zelda-esque puzzles, a huge world to explore, which is actually Earth, and that's really cool. And it's a game with beautiful graphics and great music. Honestly, I can't recommend it more. If you haven't played it already, I feel sorry for you. Give it a shot. Coming in at number 4 is Earthbound. It honestly hurt me to put this game at the number 4 spot when it is so good, so fun, it does everything right. It's a game that somehow manages to have 4 protagonists that have so much character, and yet they have basically no dialogue. It's wonderful. The story of this game, I know it gets a little crazy, of course, it's a JRPG, but it really just resonates with a lot of people because it hits a lot of innate themes of exciting childhood adventures, crazy, unavoidable nightmares, and basic themes like friendship and family. It's a game that's in a league of its own in that way. There's so many weird and wonderful things, the dialogue is fantastic, and the battle system is a lot of fun, simple but innovative, and it's at a perfect difficulty in my opinion. This game is really something special, as many people agree, but it's hard to explain. This game just has more charm than pretty much anything I've ever played. I definitely won't be forgetting it anytime soon. Coming in at number 3 is Persona 3, the PSP version. Why did I pick the PSP version? Well, I think it improves a lot over the PS2 version, mainly because you can actually control your party, and because you get a separate storyline where you can play as a girl, so that happens. When I played this game, it absolutely blew me away. I could not believe how fast I lost 80 hours of my life playing through this game, getting lost in this world, leading a different life. It was fantastic. The story in this game, the characters, and how they interact is absolutely top-notch in this game. Like, I talked about it in my Persona 3 versus Persona 4 video, or was it the best cast video, I'm not sure. But this cast honestly works so well together. There's so many little nuances to how they interact with each other that just makes it realistic and really fun to watch. The social elements of this game, like the social links, are just incredible, and honestly, I almost had more fun with that than the actual RPG elements of, like, playing the game. It was so cool to meet all of these interesting new characters, the graphics were great, the music was fantastic. It's a game you could really get lost in, you can play, replay 1,000 times. It's a fantastic game. I think it just beat out Persona 4 for reasons I explained in the Persona 3 versus 4 video, but this is a must-play in my opinion, if you're a fan of RPGs at all. Number 2 is Final Fantasy VII. Okay, I know this is a cliche pick, but come on, can you really blame me? This game is honestly, again, it's on a league of its own. This game's setting, coupled with its music, is basically unmatched. This game really created a world of its own with whatever, starting from the Shinra building and branching off into this whole beautiful world. I remember every moment of it. The game has really dark tones and a deep story with great themes, and there's so much that's already been said about it and that I've already said about it that I just gotta pretty much leave it at that. I think that it's a great kind of classic Final Fantasy game that has great twists to it, and you really can't go wrong with Final Fantasy VII. Come on, let's be honest. Before I get into my top pick, which is probably kind of obvious, let's get into my honorable mentions first, and there are a lot of them, unfortunately. First is Mother 3. I really wanted to put this game on the list, but for some reason, I can't explain it. Personally, Earthbound I like a little better. Even though I think Mother 3 is a fantastic game, and if there wasn't a one per franchise rule on this list, it would definitely be in my top 10. Next is Illusion of Gaia, and again, it goes with Terranigma. I like both games so much, but Terranigma edges it out just a little bit more. I still think this is an amazing game that everybody should play, and it's really criminally underrated. Persona 4, again, I mentioned that above. I like it like Persona 3, but Persona 3 edges it out a bit more for me in reasons I've already explained. Grandia, the first Grandia. This game, man, so fun, has a great world, great characters, great everything. I'm not sure. I think maybe it was just a little simplistic for me, but still, it's one of my favorite games on the system, and it barely missed out on this list. Mega Man Battle Network 3. I love all the Battle Network games, but I'd say number 3 is probably my favorite out of all of them. I just like the battle system, the style changes, the story was okay. Not that the story of any of those games are really fantastic. But still, I think this one and also Mega Man Star Force are probably my two of my favorite portable games of all time, but not quite my favorite enough to crack the top 10. And finally, one more Mega Man game, Mega Man Legends 2. This game was probably the closest to missing my top 10, really because I have a really big nostalgic connection to this game, but I still think it's one of the most charming, fun, epic, enjoyable titles on the PS2, and again, really underrated. Anyway, those are my honorable mentions, so let's get into my favorite RPG of all time. Number 1, Chrono Trigger. Cliche, I know, shut up. This is the best damn RPG of all time in my opinion. It does absolutely everything right. The story is wonderful and rich and exciting, and it does all of this without being annoyingly overcomplicated like so many other time travel games get. It's simple enough to be enjoyable, but complicated enough to make you think. That's how great it is. The battle system is fun, it's exciting, it's a great challenge. I love the use of the tri-attacks and the triple attacks. It's fantastic. It's a battle system that really rewards you for thinking on your feet and using some strategy. It's so fun. The music and the graphics are basically unrivaled on the system. I've already gushed about this soundtrack, but man, every single song in this game, fantastic, memorable, beautiful. This game's soundtrack is unparalleled. I have not heard anything better. As a whole, or even in parts, this game's soundtrack is unrivaled. And of course, yes, the graphics are fantastic. This has to probably be my favorite RPG of all time. I don't know if it's my favorite game of all time. Maybe I'll do a favorite games of all time list, but this is definitely my favorite RPG of all time, and for good reason. Anyway, those are my top 10 RPGs of all time. But I'm really curious to hear, what's your absolute number 1 favorite RPG of all time? Is it Chrono Trigger 2? I hope so, but if not, that's okay too. In any case, thanks for watching.